Hello and welcome. This is a walkthrough basically about understanding the admin panel. I have no activities for you today, so if you drink, grab a cold one because we got about 20 minutes of fun ahead of us. When you first go to log in, you may or may not be greeted with a plain white page. This is basically a default page that WordPress puts in place called the wp-login.php file. Most likely after you're finished with the design, you don't even want your clients to see it, but I do have a customized area on this page and we'll see that here shortly. So put in your username and password and let's go ahead and log in. What you're greeted with here is the dashboard. Some call it the admin panel. Others refer to it as the back end. There's probably a few other names for it. Maybe one like the ugly part of your site. So looking at the back end or admin panel, it can be a little scary at first, so I want to try to walk you through a few things, kind of simplify things for you so that it won't be as nerve-wracking the next time you log in. You can see here that updates are available, and when the updates are available, I do have a plugin called the Easy Updates Manager that does automatically update most of it for you. There are some plugins that it is not able to update, which either you can update, and a few plugins that you can't update because they're professional plugins. We try to take care of all that for you so that you never have anything to worry about. This next area is where the posts are placed. Now, I don't want you to think of posts as something scary. Just think of them as news or articles, or if you have something original that you want to call them, feel free. Posts are dynamic in nature, meaning that the page that they're presented on changes constantly. As you add a new post, it's going to be populated on that page. So that's the dynamic nature of posts. As you can see here under the post area, there's an area called categories. Categories are fantastic. They're a great way to organize your posts. For example, let's say I have a store where I sell menswear and I have pants and I have shirts. I'll create one category called men's. I'll create a subcategory called shirts and another subcategory under that called pants. Now when I create a post about a new pair of pants for men, I would categorize it by selecting both men's and the category pants. If you're searching for shirts, that would be in a category that's also under men, but you can see how it falls into place. The next area here is the media, and the media is where all your images are stored, but not just images. It could be text documents, PDF documents, music, any form of media that you have, share, or present on your site will be stored here. WordPress does not offer an easy way to organize your media. There are a couple of plugins out there that are very helpful. I'll point those out to you in a future video. Next on our list is pages. Pages are different than posts. Posts are dynamic, but a page is static, meaning the only time it ever changes is if you make the change to the page itself. By default, WordPress comes with two pages already created for you. Underneath the page that is not the privacy policy page, there's a little edit. Select that, the page will open. Now change the name of the page to be home. The page name is not going to be seen unless you want it to. Now there's what's referred to as a permalink that goes to that page. I can't click it because I've already followed the next step, and you want the permalink to point to home. After you've done that, update the page. Then you can create a new page in a couple of ways. You can either select from the top drop down, hit new page. You can also go back and then select a new page from the main menu. Anyway, your next page, name it basically whatever you want. It's going to be where your posts are presented. So you could call it news, you could call it articles, you could call it blog. Come up with something original. Now, as long as you don't change the name of it, the default permalink will be fine, so you don't have to worry about that. Save your page. Now the last page is your privacy policy. Most likely you could go through and edit this and create your own privacy policy, but most likely we're going to use a plugin or copy from another site and then make changes or whatever when it comes to that. But that's at the very, very end after you've already finished your design. So don't even worry about the privacy policy page. It's set up as a draft. Just leave it there. Don't delete it. Alright, so moving on, let's go to the appearance area and you see themes. Themes are important. Now what we're going to do is we're going to select the child theme. We don't want to select Divi, we want to select Divi child and activate that one. Now there's a reason that we use a child theme, although some may argue against it. I like to play safe, and I don't want any code or code injections or any changes that I make to code to affect the original theme. So I use a child theme. That's where all my changes take place, so the original theme never gets damaged. Okay, so I'm going to log out, and when I do, you'll be able to see the custom form that I created for login. Now this form can be changed. You can change the background image, you can change the logo image, you can change the colors. Everything is within the theme editor, and we will talk about that here soon. And let's take a minute and look at the site and see what it looks like. Okay, a little plain, but this is the Divi Default, what it looks like before design or anything. You'll notice here a meta menu which has a login, which is useful for me, so I'll keep that there. I don't want to get rid of that. Okay, back on the back end, you can see under themes we have customize. Now I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this. Let me try to say that any changes that you make under customization are site-wide. If you want to change the header to all be a certain font, you can change that, and then all the header, every time you type it, it's going to be the font that you selected here. You can set the sizes, you can set a lot of different things in the customizer. Before we make any changes here, let's go and start doing the design and see what we like. Now, one area that you will use quite a bit is the custom CSS area. I would like to be able to say that there's absolutely zero programming involved, but when you're dealing with plugins, a lot of times plugins have buttons, and the button color scheme does not match the color scheme that you've preset. So you're going to, and I'll teach you how to do it, how to write a script for CSS to pinpoint the item and be able to change the color so that it matches your theme. So the next area here in the back end is the widgets. Widgets are great. They're a way to present certain items on either the footer or a sidebar. I use the custom HTML widget a lot, but I know how to code. It's something that you'll learn. Alright, next on our list is menus. You can have separate menus for before someone logs in, after they're already logged in, or if you have a membership site, certain members see certain things, other members see other things. It can be a little complicated. I'm going to walk you through some basics on it, how to use it, and how to test it. Now this next area, backgrounds, we can skip that. All that does is open the customizer again. Now let's look at the theme editor. Danger zone, danger zone. Okay, I'm giving you forewarning. I would not make any changes in here because one simple typo or mistake could crash your site. So for quick reference, if you're messing around in the theme editor and you make a change and it crashes your site, try to remember where you made that change, and then that way when you ask us for help, you're able to tell us what you were doing at the time and where you were, so that we can go and check your code and get it fixed for you a lot quicker that way. Now if you see that little red box that I just put up on the screen, that is the area where the login form I created is. And you can pull that up and you'll see the CSS code. Now the images are basically on your site, but you can use external links to point to new images. So I'll put the image dimensions there for you. I believe the background image size is 1000 pixels by 600 pixels, and the icon is 75 pixels by 75 pixels. Then within this code, you can go through and you can change colors to the form and so forth with the use of CSS. But do so at your own risk. Alright, so moving on, we're going to the plugins area. Now, plugins are great. They are basically small programs that are written to work within your site that bring functionality and all kinds of things. We don't restrict you on what plugins you can put on your site, but I will give you a forewarning. Look how old the plugin is. Plugins can crash your site, and if the plugin is very old and hasn't been updated for a certain amount of time, with the amount of changes that take place within WordPress as it's updated, a plugin can cause your site to crash. So make sure you're using a good plugin. Look at how many downloads it has. And you can also look at the ratings. If it's got a lot of negatives on it, then you might want to think twice before you use it. I try to only use reputable plugins. Now I've updated a lot of the plugins and everything on the site, so as you can see, my sidebar now has a lot more items on it. I'll kind of scroll down the list here and you can see a lot of them, but you'll see that I use 3 different types of security on the sites. I use WordFence, Cerber security, and I use fail to ban. Now all 3 of them are free, which is the reason I use 3 of them, because each one kind of affect a different area of the site in order to harden WordPress down, and none of them conflict with each other. Don't worry about that. I stay on top of security and everything, and if I see that there is some type of issue, then I'll probably go through and reconfigure a different security package setup and everything. I want my site as well as your site to be secure. So we're back at the main dashboard here. And don't worry, for those of you that the beer is almost finished, we only have a few minutes left. Okay, now over at the top right, you'll see a little switch called Screen Options. And if you select that, you'll see a drop down with all the items, and they all have check marks on them. these items are all located down below. Now you can reconfigure the screen any way you like, move things where you want them and so forth, and design this page the way that you want it to look. Every time you install plugins, not every time, but with a lot of plugin installs, they may or may not add dashboard items to your screen. So you may have to come after installing new plugins and reconfigure some things or whatever. Admin Pad, this is a great little tool. It's basically a great way for you to keep notes. Now there was another one that was called Notepad that I really liked, and you could have multiple notes, different colors and everything. It was fantastic, but they stopped updating it. So I didn't want to risk it, so I found this, and this works great. You can type notes to yourself, maybe current color schemes or what you're planning on doing next, or make a list or whatever it may be. Broken Link Checker, that's a great little plugin. The Media SEO, this is a great tool, and I'm glad that they have a dashboard widget for it so that I can see it at first glance. It's a great thing to keep your eye on. And then of course we have WordFence. Now, if you're curious about this video where there is no video, that is my plugin, and currently that video is hidden from view, and that's why it does not show. But there are links to the site and links to other videos as well. So that about covers this first video. I hope this doesn't scare you. I hope it gave you a little confidence to move forward, and the next time you log in, you will not be afraid when you meet the ugly back end, whatever you want to call it, admin panel or dashboard. Thanks for watching, and stay tuned, maybe subscribe. A new video will be coming out very soon. Thank you.